Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
New details emerge in the shooting of two local police officers. Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Priya Mann. Two Southgate police officers are now home from the hospital after both of them were shot in the leg. The suspect, a man with a lengthy criminal past, was captured after an hours-long search that put an entire community on edge. Noel Friel is live with new developments, including the serious charges this suspect is now facing. Hi, Noel.
Yeah, Priya, that's right. We've now learned that 20-year-old Jeremiah Kemp is now facing 2 felony counts of assault after that shooting. Police say after he opened fire on officers, they tracked him to another apartment here at the nearby Reserve at Southgate apartment complex. And we've also learned more about Kemp's previous criminal record. In 2021, he was arrested for misdemeanor assault. In 2024, he was arrested for misdemeanor burglary and obstructing police. And most recently, in March of this year, he was arrested for misdemeanor retail fraud. We're going to have the very latest on this situation and also what's next for Kemp coming up tonight at 5 o'clock. Live in Southgate, Noel Friel, Local 4.
All right, thank you so much, Noel. We'll check back in with you in just a little bit. And we do want to check in with our Ashley Barassi for a look at what the day's going to bring. We know the heat and humidity is on, Ash.
Well, it's the first official day of summer, and right on cue, temperatures are on the rise. Heat and humidity building in, so we'll be in the mid-80s this afternoon, but not ruling out some scattered storm chances, especially 2 o'clock onward. This isn't a widespread event, but you could get caught in one of those heavy downpours. Temperatures soaring as we head in the weekend and beyond. We're forecasting 90s beginning tomorrow, and we will have the heat index close to 100 tomorrow, but triple-digit heat indices Sunday through Tuesday, and that is why an excessive heat watch has been issued for southeastern Michigan, beginning tomorrow morning all the way through Tuesday evening, and those temperatures will be in record territory. In fact, those afternoon highs likely exceeding the record by early next week. We'll dive into that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Ashley, thank you. And over the next few days, we could really feel those temps in the 90s or triple digits, as she was just talking about. So it is important to start and stay drinking water. And you might think you know when it's too hot or when to slow down, but don't be afraid to take breaks if you're doing yard work or activities outside. Our Dr. Frank McGeorge has reminders to stay healthy in the heat.
Everyone needs to know their own limits, and if you are on any medications or have any medications that put you at risk, you need to know to just take it easy when it's dangerously hot outside. Be smart and stay cool. Don't put yourself at risk. It's just not worth it. Now, on the other side, I would also say there are people that are not fortunate enough to be able to adjust things like have access to air conditioning or adjust their circumstances. We're talking older people in particular. As a community, we should pay attention and help them to get cooling centers and stay well hydrated.
All right, good advice there. Thanks, Doc. And if you need somewhere to cool down, we have a list of cooling centers over on clickondetroit.com. And it includes Detroit rec centers and libraries opening their doors and what times you can visit for a break from the heat. A driver faces prison time after a deadly crash over on the city's west side. You're looking at video from the weekend crash near Telegraph Road and Grand River Avenue. Prosecutors say Dwayne Proctor was speeding more than 100 miles an hour with a 4-year-old in the car when he crashed into another vehicle. The speed limit is only 35 miles per hour in that area. A 68-year-old woman was killed and a 44-year-old woman was critically injured. Court documents show Proctor has a history of speeding. Earlier this year, he was charged with reckless driving. He is due back in court on June 25th. A Taylor Sports Bar is temporarily closed after a shooting in its parking lot last weekend. The city's mayor says he met with the owner of Big League Brews to give him a suspension letter. The bar's owner can appeal the decision with city council. During Tuesday's meeting, the police chief says a complaint is also going to the Liquor Commission. The chief says he's working to pull calls and reports associated with the bar to look over its history. Police are doing the same thing with nearby businesses to compare the number of incidents. Israel and Iran exchanged strikes a week into their war today. Israel's military said it targeted areas in western Iran, while a building was hit in the southern Israeli city of Beersheba. NBC's Matt Bradley has the latest from Tel Aviv.
So we just heard the first siren that Tel Aviv has had in more than the past 24 hours. I don't know if you can still hear. There are emergency vehicles now are circulating here. According to police here in Tel Aviv, there has been no direct impacts that have been seen so far from that missile salvo, though it sounds as though the police have seen fragments from interceptions that have fallen. It does sound as though the bulk of the missiles were fired at the northern and central parts of Israel. Now, we understand that 2 people have been seriously wounded in the northern Israeli city of Haifa, and that there were direct impacts, according to emergency services, on about 6 different parts of the middle and north of the country. Now, all of this follows as the Israelis are continuing their attacks against targets in Iran. Now, they say that they've been taking out a lot of missile launcher sites. And we heard this from the Israelis yesterday. The Israeli military said that they had taken out about 200 missile launchers. They said that that's about 2/3 of the total that the Iranians have been used to fire these ballistic missiles at Israel. Now, that stands to reason as we're starting to seeing a decrease in the number of projectiles inside of each salvo. But all of this is going on as European diplomats are heading to Geneva to meet with their counterpart from Iran, the foreign minister. They're going to try to see if there's any room left to negotiate an end to Iran's nuclear weapons program.
All right, thank you so much. Here at home, donations are needed after this week's storms flooded a Clinton Township animal rescue. The water at Rejoiceful Animal Rescue reached ankle high. Staff members quickly moved to protect the animals as the water spread throughout the facility. However, they did lose a ton of pet supplies.
The kennel manager mentioned today that all the donations are what our food is people's money that they gave us, and it just feels so wasted that it all got destroyed. You know, that once it gets wet from that, you can't do anything about it. So we lost a ton of supplies for our fosters. We have over 300 animals in foster, and so all those fosters come to us for supplies for those foster animals they have in their homes. And right now, that's in danger.
Oh, we got to help them out. The rescue is asking the community to donate to their cause if you're able, so the group can start rebuilding those pet supplies. You can just scan that QR code that's right there on the bottom of your screen or head to rejoicefulrescue.com.